Once again, it's on. Bow, 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 bow. It's on. Bow, bow. Nah, let me stop. I'm on, though. I'm on. That's right. It's the Lisper Podcast. And it's me, your boy Tyrone, who's the host of Lisper. Um, and the co-host is here as always. The co-host is here. Co-host is here. Co-host, as always, has made his contribution to the show. And as always, oh, something was in there. Bug or something. But who cares? Anyway, Macho Man, Freddy's here, Lakers here, Kobe's in the back like he always is. Somebody said, "Let's go!" All right, I'm ready. Kobe's in the back like he always is. You know, the Decepticons is here. Megatron fell down, but I ain't picking him up right now. I don't care. But so let's go with today's show. And today's show is hold on. I don't know. I drunk a bug, and the bug is in my teeth. Oh, it's Randall. Oh, Randall. Okay. Oh, yeah, Randall Vickery. I get it. I was wondering, but yeah. Okay. All right, Randall. Hey, thanks for at least tuning in, brother. I appreciate you, man. How you doing? Doing good? I hope you're doing good. I'm doing all right. But anyway, today's episode is called "Mommy Dearest." Okay, and no, I already did an episode about my mother. Okay, so I'm not doing another episode about my mother, and I don't know your mother. So I'm not doing an episode about your mother neither. This is an episode about mommies that I don't find daring. Matter of fact, these is about mommies that I don't even really like. Okay, these is about mommies that irritate the fuck out of me. All right, because these are some of the worst parents in the movies that I like, and they're called horror movies. Now, let's be honest, I don't watch every horror movie because, like horror movies or whatever. But I do watch the iconic ones, and I do like, killing, cussing, fucking. And all horror movies have killing, cussing, fucking. You know what I mean? All more horror movies have the KFC in it. And KFC is for me, not only the chicken, but the killing, fucking, cussing. Okay, I love it. All right. So I watch horror movies. And I just was thinking about the moms in these films and some of the, parents in general. Parents in general in the horror movies stink. They suck ass, right? And I'm a dad though, and so I tend to lean more towards the dad being like cool and shit. And I think that the moms are the ones that's supposed to be like more nurturing, more like connected to the kid, more like, I don't know. I feel like the moms should be better than the dads. The dads are just the protectors. The dads should be out there, and if Freddy come or Michael Myers come or Jason come and the dad's there, the dad's gonna be able to jump out there and fuck shit up on a hurry up. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna defend the child. But I felt like the mom should be comforting to the child, the mom should be loving to the child, the mom should be understanding to the child. So the mom has a role to me that's supposed to be sweet. It's supposed to be nice. It's supposed to be right. It's supposed to at least at the general least, they're supposed to fucking help. And these moms, I don't even fucking know. Okay. So this episode is called Mommy Dearest, and this is about the worst mothers in horror movie franchises. And the first mom I'm gonna start with is Margaret. Margaret from Carrie. So Carrie's already Carrie's a weirdo. Let's be clear. I mean, like, Carrie's a fucking weirdo, right? And the mom, as a parent, you know your kid's a fucking weirdo. As a mom to a daughter, you especially know that your daughter's a fucking weirdo. So you got to do extra shit for your child if she's a fucking weirdo. You know what I mean? If your daughter's already weird, acts weird, looks weird, antisocial, all the shit that Carrie was, you got to do something special for her. You got to dress her different. You got to try to help her be cool. And Carrie mom Margaret didn't help her be cool. As a matter of fact, Carrie mom Margaret was like abusive to a child that was already getting abused in school. It's like, your daughter's a weirdo, number one. And you're not trying to help her not be weird. That's number one. That's first off. And then you send her to school, and these kids is fucking with her, bullying her, teasing her, all that kind of shit, right? And you know she's getting it at school. And what do you do at home? You abuse her at home. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, You know that your child is weird. You know that your child is being bullied in school and you abuse at home. And then you disguise it behind religion. And no, maybe she wasn't disguising, okay? Maybe she really was a religious fanatic. Like she brought the word freak into Jesus freak like a motherfucker. And she thought that every single thing was a sin. And she kind of thought Carrie was a hoe. She was talking to Carrie, and everything was a sin, and sexual intercourse in your body, and showing your tits and your ass, and sexual intercourse is gonna be. And it's like Carrie ain't getting no dick. Like Carrie's antisocial. Carrie's fucked up in a child. Nobody ain't even. They're bullying her. So why are you harassing your daughter about things that you think is sinful when Carrie ain't doing no sinful shit? Carrie can't be a shoplifting teenager because the cool kids that shoplifting hang Carrie can't hang out with them. Okay? Carrie can't do drugs because the kids that do drugs, they smoke weed, they hang out. Carrie ain't hanging out. Carrie has no teenage influences in her life because she ain't cool enough to hang out with them kids. She has no influence in her life. The only person that's an influence in Carrie's life is Margaret. And Margaret is Jesus, 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 and everything you do is a sin. You better not fart, Carrie. She basically told Carrie, if she farts, Carrie, if you fart, you're going to hell. You're going to hell if you fart. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, your daughter's getting abused. Your daughter's ain't even hanging out with regular teenagers. She ain't even allowed to do regular teenage shit. She's getting bullied in school, and you abuse her at home in the name of the Lord. Praise him. Praise him. In the name of the Lord. And then you harassing her about things she can't do. Carrie can't fuck. Who's fucking Carrie? Be honest, when is Carrie gonna get some dick? Carrie don't drink, Carrie don't smoke, Carrie don't get high, Carrie don't get invited to none of the parties at school, Carrie ain't allowed to go out at nighttime, Carrie is a weirdo, Carrie is you're putting on nut ass clothes on her like no, Carrie not getting no dick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but in what world did Margaret think that Carrie was going to be bad? And like, in what world did you not try to help your child? You know, it was like, Margaret was very abusive. And Margaret was not the only part and the only reason why Carrie did the shit she did. Margaret was not the only reason why Carrie was pushed over the edge, but she played a major part in being pushed over the edge. And I think it was even more than the role of the children because, in all honesty, you don't give a fuck about those kids, especially when they're not really your friends. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if your friends was treating you bad or whatever, but you don't give a fuck about those kids. You're just like, damn, they're the kids from school, and Carrie didn't really care about them. Yeah, bullying is bad. Yeah, bully hurts your feelings or whatever, but you're supposed to be able to get some relief at home. But when it's your mom, when your mother is abusive, when you got to get abused at school and you got to go home and your mother's abusive and you can't do nothing, you can't fart. And then your mother's talking to you about fucking and you can't even barely, a boy don't even barely look at you and you know that boys don't even barely look at you. It's just like, damn, Carrie couldn't get no relief. So look, who blames Carrie? Who blames Carrie in this situation? Like Carrie, murderous bitch, right? But she was like, push it to the limit. The limit, you know what I mean? And it started at home with her fucking mother. So yeah, her mom was inconsiderate. Her mom didn't even think about helping her child out. And her mom was one of her main antagonists, if you ask me. And it was like, she didn't even give her daughter the benefit of the doubt because her daughter was all the doubt. It wasn't even no benefit of the doubt. Because if you said it's Carrie fucking, I doubt it. Is Carrie doing drugs? I doubt it. Is Carrie drinking? I doubt it. Is Carrie hanging out all night, hanging out the fuck with who? I doubt it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even no benefit of a doubt. It was all doubt. Because Carrie, I doubt that Carrie was going to be able to do any of the things that her mother was harassing her about. And it was all in the name of the Lord. And I don't think that Jesus would have approved of the abuse that she was putting on that child. So yeah, Carrie, man, Margaret, whew, I think Margaret was a very much so fucked up mom, and I think Margaret should be held responsible for what happened in the Carrie film. The second mom. That's the worst mom in the art film, and this is insane. This is insane because this woman is one of two moms on my list that are two of the worst moms in horror movie history, and they're not even in the fucking movies. They're not even in the fucking movies. And that mom is Norma Bates is one of them. Norma Bates. Because uh Norma Bates, and we find out at the end of Psycho, is not even um alive. You know what I'm saying? Norma Bates is not even alive. And she somehow is one of the worst mothers in a horror movie. And just let me explain. So Norman is a psycho, right? Norman is a psycho, and we think that Norman is a psycho because we think that he has this mom that's influencing him to be a psycho. That she's abusing him, she's talking shit to him, she's making him this crazy dude, and she's making him go around and do all that psycho shit, killing people and all that shit. And all this time, we think the mom is there. We like, oh shit, this mom's a bad mom. She's a bad mom. She's a bad mom. She's like making her son crazy, making her son kill people, and treating him like shit, and he a grown-ass man, and all of the stuff that we think the mom is doing. And here it is, the mom's dead. Here it is, the mom's dead. But not only is she dead, but she is dead at the hands of her only son. Of her only son. So her son kills her. And we find out that she's been dead the entire time. So before Norman even was a psycho, before Norman did all that psycho shit, before Norman did all that killing and all that stuff that we see happen in the movie, he killed his mother. Just think about that for a second. Just ponder over that. What kind of mom do you have to be for your baby boy to kill you? You know what I'm saying? And we know Norman was fucked up. We know Norman was crazy. But fucked up and crazy makes you kill other people. Fucked up and crazy don't make you kill your mama. Don't make you kill your mama. In all of those stories where kids kill their parents, the parents was fucked up. In every movie, every situation where I saw where the kids killed their parents, the parents was fucked up. Maybe not the Menendez boys. I don't remember. I watched the documentary. I don't think the Menendez parents was too fucked up. I know the dad was quite abusive, right? But it's like, I don't think they had to kill the mom. Maybe she ignored the abuse. I think the dad was abusive and the mom ignored the abuse. Either way, they got something in their head to go, man, look, these parents did some shit. But either way, you got to kind of be a pretty bad parent for your child to be so fucked up that they decide they're going to murder you. That's number one. But then, how bad was she by the fact that even from beyond the grave, after she was dead, she still tormented her son enough in his own head, in his own imagination. So she abused him so bad that even after she died, he was still being abused. Like, and it wasn't like a ghost story. It wasn't like a spirit thing. It wasn't like his mom was haunting him. He was still in his head, like still traumatized by the abuse of his mother so bad that he was still like a psycho motherfucker. His mom abused him and tormented him so bad that he killed her, number one. But after he killed her, he remained abused by her in his fucked up ass brain. It was like she fucked him up so bad that even in death, he couldn't get rid of her. Even in death, even not being in the movie, she was a fucked up ass mother. And so when you think about that, and you think about his mom was the sole reason why he was killing people, but she wasn't even alive at the time that he was doing it. She She abused that boy so bad that she never won away. He killed her to get free from it and still couldn't get free from it. Just it's not funny. It's not funny because that's real bad fun. Like, y'all see what I'm saying? Is that not a fucked up ass mom? Like, I think that might be the worst mom. That might be the worst mom. If you abuse your kids so bad that they kill you, and after they kill you, they still is abused so bad by you that they start killing other people. and they get this psycho thing in their head that you still there, and you still is fucking abusing them. Man, look. So yeah, Margaret and Carrie was a religious freak. She fucked Carrie up. She didn't help her daughter. She didn't even try. But Norman abusing her son from beyond the grave and not even being a ghost. Oh, it would have been so cool if Norman was just a fucked up ass ghost. But to not even be a ghost, to just have him act out from the trauma that he previously had before he killed his own mother. That tells me right now that Norma had to be one of the most fucked up moms on the planet. And then the funny thing is, you watch the Bates Motel TV show, and Norma didn't really seem fucked up. She seemed kind of loving. She seemed kind of caring. She seemed like she was wanted to protect her son. She didn't seem like the mom that wanted her that turned her son into a killer. Now, I never finished that series of the show because it got rather boring for me. You know, it wasn't enough killing fucking cousin for me. You know what I'm saying? But I should have finished it because now I'm kind of now I'm looking back on it. I'm a little bit disturbed by the dynamic because as far as the show was concerned, she was a loving mother. So I want to see. I should have kept watching I should have kept watching the show to see where she flipped the script, where the script flipped to where she became abusive to him, or are they trying to say, like, spin the narrative that she wasn't abusive to him and it was just my imagination once again running away with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he was just like imagining that she made him kill her and made him kill other people, and she really was still the same nice mother, and she didn't drive that motherfucker crazy. I don't know. So if anybody saw the Bates Motel show and actually finished it, let me know what happened that made her drive him crazy, or did she really drive him crazy? But as far as the movie's concerned, yeah, that bitch drove her son cuckoo, motherfucking chew, and she was dead the entire time. So that fucked up. Another mother that was also, the movie opens up with her death. She's dead. And I'm thinking, like, this mom's not going to be a part of this film. But Hereditary is another one. That Ellen Taper Lee, whatever her name was, she was a terrible mom. She was a terrible mom because she worshipped that demon, whatever demon. She was a demon worshiper, and she worshipped this demon, right? And then we found out she literally had a family just so that they can be sacrifices to this fucking demon. How fucked up are you? So you don't want the kids. You don't love the kids. You don't care about the kids. You literally pop that pussy open and had babies so that your whole family can be killed as a sacrifice to this demon that you worship. And everything that happened to your family after you was already dead was based on you and based on, like, them being killed as a sacrifice to the demon that you worship. That's got to be fucked up. That's got to be fucked up. Everything fucked up that happened in that movie was based on the fact that she only had that family so that she could sacrifice them to a fucking demon. What kind of mother does that? You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about a mom, you think about a mama do anything for the love of her child. A mama do everything for the protection of her child. A mom is supposed to, like, make sure nobody don't get a child. And here it is, you having kids to be sacrificial lambs. And sacrificial lambs to a demon that you ain't getting shit from because you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. And your family still has to die and still has to be sacrificed to a demon that you worship, that you can't even get the reward of your worshiping. Because anytime, like in the Bible, or anytime, like people make sacrifices to the demons or whatever the case may be, well, not demons. I don't know people make sacrifices to demons, but people who make sacrifices to the gods or sacrifice who they love, they usually take a lamb or a sheep or something, slit the sheep throat, and do the blood ritual, rip the blood out, lick the blood, do it. I don't participate in rituals. I don't worship demons. I don't do sacrifices, no shit like that. But I'm just saying, most of the time when I hear or see or read about or watch sacrifices, it's usually like an animal, and they usually take the animal and they usually like, cut the throat or whatever. And then they usually like, sacrifice an animal or something. But they're usually alive. They usually perform the sacrifice. And they usually perform the sacrifice in the hopes of getting in the good grace of the demon. You know what I mean? Or not the demon, the God, whatever the case, whatever entity the fuck it is that they worshiping. They want to get in the good grace. And so they sacrifice to get in the good grace, right? She died. She was dead. So I don't even know how, like, it's fucked up because it's like, yo, you made this, you worship this demon that goes, listen, man, I want you to make some sacrifices. And the biggest sacrifices you can make are your children. So you gotta have babies so that you can sacrifice them and kill them for me, right? Right? But even if you die, even if something happened to you, even if you change your motherfucking mind, because baby can do that too. Like you can see a little baby, you go, oh, my baby. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not being insensitive at all. I'm not being insensitive at all. Because I know for a fact that this is true. I know for a fact that this happens. And so I'm not being insensitive when I say that sometimes when a woman gets pregnant, abortion's on the table. I'm saying sometimes when a woman gets pregnant, abortion's on the table, right? And it's her choice, her body, her choice. We ain't getting into that. But I'm saying that sometimes abortion's on the table. And sometimes, for whatever reason this woman may think of, for whatever reason, maybe it's religious, maybe it's she has a guilty conscience, maybe she just don't have the money, maybe she just can't go through with it, but she doesn't get the abortion. And it's not because she decided that she wants the baby. Like I said, maybe circumstances forces her to not be able to get the abortion. Maybe she just can't go through with it. Maybe her mental is fucked up, whatever the case may be. So she got a baby that she don't want. That she never wanted. But she's got to have it now. Don't you know when you get that baby and it comes out and you hold it? And you hold it. And it changes your motherfucking mind. Or men. You get to jump off pregnant or something. Or you get a girl pregnant that you didn't want a relationship with. And you're mad. You don't want no baby with her. You wish it wasn't yours. But then you go to the hospital and you hold the baby and they happy. You're kind of happy. You're kind of like, man, you know what? I hate that bitch. But, I love my baby. They make you feel warm inside. Make you feel a certain kind of way. Or the women that they say that, when they have a baby and they go, you know what? I'm giving this baby up for adoption. As soon as I had this baby going. I don't want this baby. I'm going to give it up for adoption. And then they hold the baby and they go, I can't give up my baby. I love my baby, right? So I'm imagining that maybe Ellen was the kind of mom that could have her kids and hold them and go, oh, no, you know what? I love my baby. Fuck you, Damon. Fuck you, Damon. The demon worship is over. I like to not renew my contract. You know what I'm saying? Like you would quit. You would be like, you know what? I no longer worship this demon. I no longer want. You try to get out of it. You do something to change your mind, change the situation. No. And apparently her demon contract was so fucked up that it said, I don't care if you change your mind. I don't even care if you die. If you die, I'm still going to carry out the sacrifice because them kids, you had them and they already sacrificed. They belong to me. Your whole family belongs to me no matter what the fuck you do. And it's like you can't even reap the reward because what was the reward? What was the reward? If the reward was supposed to be something that you were supposed to get after you died and you died before you did the task to get you the reward and the demon reneges on your reward, but still kills your motherfucking family. You don't know that. You got a clause that says like if I die before they do, I still get my shit. Or did you just say fuck it? I'm serving you, And once I say they sacrifice, that's it. They the sacrifice, and I don't give a fuck about my reward. Just kill them. I ain't never want them anyway. So even if she changed her mind, like, demon, I don't worship you no more, but you can still kill me. I know that sounds so fucked up, but I imagine her being like, look, you know what? I changed my mind about worshiping you. You know, I found Jesus, but I ain't want these kids. So if you still want to kill them, go ahead on and just, do that. Leave me alone, though. I'm not worshiping you. I'm not doing no more things. I'm not putting the crosses in the blood. I'm not doing none of that stuff. But these kids was for you. It's like a mom that has the kids because the husband wants the kids, and then when they break up, she go, "Hey, man, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Fuck these kids. You can have them." That's how she was with the demon. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could have been like that. We don't know her situation with the demon. We ain't hear that conversation. She could have been like, you know what, demon? You know what I mean? I found Jesus. I found the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want these kids. So, take them with you. Go ahead on and take them. And it just so happens that she got taken before the kids got taken. But either way, it's like, what kind of fucked up mom do you have to be to not only know that you're purposely having these kids and having this family, and purposely knowing that your family is going to be sacrificed to this demon, and you don't change your mind. You don't hold the baby and it don't change your mind. You don't give a fuck. And the clause is like, no matter what, no matter if you change your mind, no matter if you die, no matter if nothing happened, you like, no, bitch. Mm-mm. You gotta miss me with that. You gotta miss me with that. So she another one. She another one who's a mom that wasn't even in the movie, but due to her previous actions before the film even started, that she was so fucked up that her actions, even in death, fucked her family up and made made you look at it, made you think about it. Like, damn, you is a fucked up ass mom. Okay, who's the next fucked up mom? The next fucked up mom is fucking Mrs. Loomis. Mrs. Loomis from the Scream franchise, okay? Nancy Loomis is a fucked up ass mother. Want me to know why she a fucked up ass mother? Because look. I'm gonna play the bad game here. I'm gonna play the bad game here. And now, you know what? It's two fucked up moms in this situation. It's two fucked up moms in this situation. Because I'm gonna say that Nancy Loomis is a fucked up mom, right? But I'm gonna say that Maureen Prescott is also a fucked up mom. Because if you're a mother, let's first start with Maureen Prescott. Because Maureen Prescott leads to everything that Nancy Loomis has done is essentially the result of things that Maureen Prescott has done. So let's first talk about Maureen Prescott. We know Maureen Prescott is Sidney Prescott's mother. So you a mother of a daughter. We also know, because we've seen Sidney Prescott's father, and he raised his daughter after her mother was gone. And he seemed like a good man. He seemed like a good dad. I mean, Sydney looked nice. She had nice clothes. She lived in a reasonably nice house. She considerably loved her daddy. So this means that Maureen Prescott was a wife to I'm a potentially assume a very good husband, and she was a mother to a daughter. And yet, you the hoe, you the hoe, you the hoe. I said that you the hoe, because you is a mom, the biggest influence on your child. You is a wife to a decent husband, and you out here fucking around. You out here fucking around. You out here popping that pussy open. You out here laying low and spreading wide for at least two other married men in your same fucking community. Your children are going to school. Your daughter's going to school with the kids of the married man and that you fucking on, and it's two of them. At least two that we know of. Probably was the whole town was getting down. I think the whole town was getting down on Maureen Prescott, right? Whole town getting down. Not only that, but you get yourself murdered. You get killed for being a hoe. And I'm not saying that it's her fault that she got killed, but I'm saying that you got to consider the consequences of you fucking around with other women's husbands in a small town. She didn't consider the consequence. She didn't think that one of these wives might bust a cap in her ass, and then she's going to leave her daughter during her most formidable years. Her daughter's going to be left without a mom because you want to be popping pussy. You know what I'm saying? She didn't think about her child when she was out here fucking with other people, fucking husbands. And she didn't think about their child. She was not only thinking about her own child, but she was not thinking about other children. And most of the time, good mothers are good mothers and they motherly. And so they think about other people's children too. She didn't think about what was going to happen when she fucked up marriages and people was getting divorced and other kids was going to be children of divorce and shit like that. She didn't even think about her own marriage. She didn't think about her own child. She didn't think about if Sydney was going to be able to mentally deal with her husband getting divorced. She didn't even think about the fact that, hey, if they got divorced, Sydney would probably have to go and live with her. All Maureen was saying about was getting busy in the Burger King bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is you doing, lady? So before we even get to Nancy Loomis, we got to talk about Maureen Prescott. Like, damn, man, you that horny that you don't think about how you're hoeing in a small town is going to affect your child? Now, I know she couldn't have ever imagined that she was going to get murdered. And she could never imagine that the people who murdered her was going to go around and murder her, well, attempt to murder her child, murder her friends, fucking try to frame her husband, all that. She didn't know all of that was happening, but still, you had to know something was going to happen. You had to know that there was going to be some consequence, and you had to know that it was going to get out because you was fucking more than one. You was fucking more than one. It's hard enough to be a cheating ass wife, and it's hard enough to be a cheating ass wife, and it's hard enough to be a cheating ass husband. So now you a cheating ass wife, and you fucking around with a married man who has to be a cheating ass husband. Do you know the lies and all the bullshit and everything that has to go with that? And you didn't think that there was going to be a good chance that you was going to get caught, especially when you're doing it to more than one in a small fucking town. You didn't think that people was going to talk. You didn't think about the fact that your daughter was going to grow up and be a teenager. And even if you kept fucking around, you don't know what it's like. You didn't think about what it would be like to be Sydney Prescott and be the daughter of the town hoe, the town whore, the town home fucking wrecking mom of the century. Even if you didn't get killed, you would have fucked your daughter up. Her social life would have been fucked up because either everybody would have thought she was a whore, tramp, slut, hoe bag. They would have been trying to fuck on her, or they would have been trying to fuck you. Because I'm looking at Sydney, I'm assuming Maureen was quite good looking, especially when two other husbands was fucking on her. I'm assuming that she's quite good looking. She's a MILF, and I'm thinking to myself, well, look, she's a hoe. When I turn 18, I'm gonna hit that. So you got all of the teenage boys that's in the town going, hey, Sydney, you gonna give it up? No, okay, watch this. When I get grown, I'm gonna fuck you. Like, that's what I feel like with like she was just gonna fuck Sydney's life up so bad. And in death, she fucked Sydney's life up anyway, because just being a hoe. She fucked up Sydney's life, she fucked up Billy's life, she fucked up Stu's life, she fucked up her husband's life, she fucked up a lot of people's lives. You know how many people got killed by Nancy Loomis, and you know how many people got killed by Bill and Stu, and you know how many people got killed going on and on from the Scream franchise. Like, Sydney was fucking fighting from the time she was a teenager to like what, 40? You know what I'm saying? Dewey got killed, you know what I'm saying? The other bitch, what's the name? The Gail Weathers or whatever her name, Gail, all like the whole town, man. The whole town got fucked up because you wanted to get fucked. You fucked the town by trying to get yourself fucked. You know what I'm saying? So like Maureen Prescott is just like a terrible ass person. And I didn't even consider her at the time when I first started this. I was going to talk about Nancy, but then I had to talk about Nancy. You can't talk about Nancy without talking about Maureen. And then the more I thought about Maureen, I was like, damn, bitch. It was like a damn Gina moment. Damn, Gina. What was you thinking? Pussy was stinking. I don't even know what the co-host got to go. He might get fired after this episode. I don't know. Matter of fact, here we go again. Same old shit, just a different day. Here we go again. Let me stop. Okay, so oh yeah, so I was about to see Maureen was so bad that I was about to skip Nancy. Okay, so here we go, Nancy Loomis. I think Nancy Loomis is a bad mom because, but here I go. Part of it is still assumption. Because the assumption is that you had a child and you was married and you didn't think that you're required to give your husband that Gawk 3000. Part of a good mom is holding the family together. I'm sorry, but part of a good mom is making sure that your kids have a family structure. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do to maintain that family structure, which means you got to make sure, especially with young boys, that daddy's in the house. You got to make sure that daddy's in the house. And I know sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes families is bad. I don't know the husband. The husband apparently was a bad husband. I ain't going to lie. He was a bad husband. He was fucking around on her. But there is a saying, and there is a general consensus among the public that if you not, gobbling them glizzies, then sometimes your husband, in a way, will start to go astray. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that maybe it's her duty as a mother to make sure that she kept her husband around. Maybe she could have did a few extra things in the bedroom. What was Maureen Prescott doing that she wasn't? And if she wanted to save her son, save her marriage, save her life, she could have went to Maureen and said, hey, listen, Maureen, stop fucking my husband. But he said that you got this little move that you do, Maybe she could have learned how to please her man. She could have just asked the mistress, like, what are you doing that I ain't doing? And Maureen could have showed her some shit. And she could have went home and said, hey, honey, look, check this out. And she could have popped it off on him. And he could have stayed. And then Billy could have grew up in a nice household. And she wouldn't have had to do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just an assumption that she wasn't handling her business in the bedroom, and that's what made her husband go astray and that's what fucked her life up. But that's not really necessarily like motherly thing. It's more of a wife thing, but it's also, like I said, it's a mother's duty to like make sure that her son has his father in the house. And I like and the mom has to work harder to keep the family structure. I ain't gonna lie. The mom is the matriarch. She has to work harder to keep the family structure because men go to work and stuff like that. And I know it's stereotypical, but most of the time the family is held down by the mother. So when the family breaks apart, most of the time, if it's the mother that's got to like try to keep it together and hold it down. I know it sounds crazy, but as that case may be. But I don't know Billy's dad. He might have been slapping shit out of her. And he definitely was dirty because he was cheating on with Maureen. So he was not a good man. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know the dynamic of their relationship, but I'm saying that maybe she could have did a few more things as a wife and for the love of her child to make sure her husband was okay. But that's neither here nor there. Because here's the kicker. When you found out that Maureen was fucking your husband, 100% you got divorced, whatever the case may be, because Billy was fucked up. You ruined, Maureen, your mother ruined my family. Your whole slut mom ruined my family, and she was a hoe, and I'm gonna fuck you, and I'm gonna kill you too. You know what I mean? So Billy plan was for revenge, was to get with Stu, who he knew you was fucking her, his mama too. You fucked this household up too. You fucked, Maureen fucked this household up too. So his plan was, I'm gonna fuck Sydney, play as her boyfriend, get the pussy from her, and then I'm gonna kill her. And in the meantime, me and Stu gonna kill some other people. Like we gonna kill some other people. We gonna frame them up for that. This is what your son grew up wanting to do because his daddy was gone. So he was that mad that y'all got divorced. He was that mad that his dad was gone that he came up with that plot. That tells me right now that you was a bad mom. You was a bad mom. So that tells me, too, that you might have kept his daddy out of his life. You might have been one of those moms like, you want to fuck that bitch? Girl! And I don't never want to see you again. And you're never going to see your son again, neither, asshole. Because that's obvious. Why was he that mad? If his dad would have still been in his life, if you would have still let his dad come pick him up, his dad still took him to baseball games, you still, like, y'all co-parented. If you would have co-parented with his daddy, he wouldn't have been missing his dad, and he wouldn't have been that mad about his dad being gone, and maybe he wouldn't have grew up to be a murderous bastard. He's a murderous bastard because his daddy was gone and he had to live with you. And he hated it. He hated it so bad. It was Sidney Prescott's whole ass mom's fault that he ended up losing his daddy, who was his best friend, and he had to stay with his bitch mom. I know you was terrible to him. You was so bad to that boy that he grew up going, oh, when I get old enough, I'm going to kill this bitch. I'm going to kill her. He killed their mom. And he was going to kill her, and he killed a couple of her friends, and he was going to kill her too. All because y'all got divorced? No, divorce ain't that bad if y'all co-parent properly. But like I said, you was the mom that kept the dad away, and then you had to raise a man, a boy by yourself, which is hard for a single mother to raise any kids, but a single mother raising a man, a boy by herself to be a man is kind of hard. And I don't think you did a good job. I don't think you did a good job. I think you was a terrible mother because you had to be. You had to be. You raised up. Listen. Some kids go astray. Some kids don't find their way. But if you raise somebody who is that mad that they daddy gone and he ain't dead and he killing people, I just gotta assume that you was a bad mom. I gotta assume that you was a bad mom. But then not only that though, you raise your baby boy becomes a killer, he dies, and what do you do after that? What do you do after your baby boy done got killed? Now your husband, you and your husband broke up. The slut of the town that broke your husband up has been murdered by your son. Teenage children have been murdered by your son. This all leads back to you, and instead of you being a good person and going, you know what, it's been too much. It's been too much. You know, people have been dying. What do? You pose as another woman, get a fake name, pose as another woman, start working at the college so that you can kill Sidney because you want revenge for your son being dead. So if that fucked up as a person to say, hey, after all this murder, after all this carnage, after all this killing, after everything that's happened, I'm gonna kill people too. That tells me right there that you was a fucked up individual, and that goes back to my theory that you was a fucked up ass mom. You was a fucked up ass mom. You know why I know you was a fucked up ass mom? Because you that bitter. You that bitter. Now I know I'll be mad too. I want some revenge too if my motherfucking son got killed. But you was bitter when the dad left, when your marriage deteriorated. You was bitter, I could tell, because your son had that same feeling. And you spent your whole life telling him, Maureen Prescott is the reason why this has happened. Everything you did bad to your son, everything. I know you was bitter. Your son got killed on top of that. And people died. A lot of people died, and you decided that you were still going to kill motherfuckers. Yeah, that pain was inside, man. Ain't not hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, because you was a scorned ass bitch. You took it out on your son. You took it out on his daddy, so you could never see his son again. That was his punishment. And then you took it out on your son. Your son grew up to be a murderous bastard. And I could tell that you took it out on him, and I could tell you was bad because you went on to be a murderous bastard yourself. So, Scream had two bad moms. They had Maureen Prescott and fucking Nancy Loomis. You know? Badass moms. I'm sorry. I got to give it to them. Now, let's go to Pamela Voorhees. Pamela Voorhees was a bad mom. And it ain't even got nothing to do with her being a killer. She didn't make Jason a killer. Pamela Voorhees did not make Jason a killer. I'm not blaming her for Jason going on that killing spree. I'm not blaming her for none of Jason's murders. I'm not even blaming her for her murders because, you know, if you kill one of my children, I'm going to be out for blood too. I'm be out for blood too. I'm not sorry. If a group of people was responsible for one of my kids' deaths, man, and I thought I could get away with it, I'd probably kill them. That's not what makes her a bad mom. She loved her baby boy. Or did she? First of all, Jason was special needs. Now let's be clear on that. Jason was a special needs child, right? He was a special needs child. That's number one. So you know that your son with special needs, he needed extra attention. Jason was ugly than a motherfucker. Let's not now look. Oh, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Don't look at Jason as a kid. Remember, Jason's a big, ugly, murderous bastard. Okay, so I know I'm saying something that might sound crude and rude and ignorant and all that, but let's be clear. Jason ain't nobody to have sympathy for, my people. So let's be clear. Jason was special needs. My man went right up top as a child, and he was fucking ugly as shit. Freddie even said it. You got a face only a mother could love, and his mother was the only one who loved that face. You work at the camp, which leads me to believe that you probably been there for a certain amount of years, maybe 2 or 3 years. You was an older woman. That was your job, so you worked at that camp. You couldn't have left Jason with his daddy. You couldn't have got a babysitter. You couldn't have left him with your mom or something. Like, you couldn't have did something better than that, boy. You brought him to the camp that you worked at, that you know the camp counselors are teenagers, so you know they there to have fun and fuck. Like, let's be clear. You probably knew that these kids don't take care of other kids. You worked there, so you know they didn't watch no fucking kids. You knew they didn't watch no fucking kids, but you wasn't responsible enough. You wasn't a good mother enough to say, hey, I got to find some good child care for my son. No, you just like, it's a camp. It's a summer camp. There's other kids here. Let me bring my boy out here and just throw him in the mix. I don't need to pay for no babysitter. I don't need to see what his dad doing. I don't need to use my grandmom or my mom or whatever the case may be. I'm just going to bring my slow ass, ugly ass son to the camp that I work at, that's run that all the camp counselors are teenagers that's there to just have a good time and fucking make some good money under the skies and take care of kids. And all these other kids is normal. And my son ain't. You knew with a hair and an ugly ass face like that and a mental disability that boy was going to get bullied. That boy was going to get teased. That boy was going to get beat up. And here you are in the kitchen just doing your job and got your son out here getting fucking teased, getting fucked up, getting thrown in the water, getting fucking drowned by these kids. Okay? You put your son in a very bad situation, man. You put your son in a very bad situation. And also, if you know that these camp counselors is bad kids, they fucking or whatever the case may be, or if you dare and you know your son's special needs, you check on that motherfucker. You check on your son. I would say every 15 minutes, I'll be out there. I'll say every 15 minutes, I'll be out there. And what, they killed Jason on the first day? Did them kids kill Jason the first day you brought that motherfucker there? Because if not, then you did a disservice, because the first day that you bring Jason in, you got to watch him. You got to go, my son's a slow motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? My son's fucked up in the head, on the spectrum, whatever the case may be. My son's ugly than a motherfucker. I need to see what's going on. So the day one, you got to observe. You got to see how them kids is treating them. You got to, oh, that's girl slapping. Oh, man, that kid spit on him. You know what I'm saying? Your son getting slapped in the face, getting spit on, getting called ugly as shit, getting kicked in his ass, all kinds of shit happening to Jason on day one, and you not knowing that shit's happened. Because unless Jason got killed on the first day, I guarantee you he was kicked in the ass. I know kids. They kicked Jason in his ass. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm guaranteeing that Jason was spit on. I'm guaranteeing that Jason was slapped. I'm guaranteeing that Jason was called names like freak show, ugly motherfucker, look at his dickhead, all kinds of shit. I'm pretty sure that he went through that on day one. He might not have been able to tell you. And that's another thing. If Jason couldn't tell you, like, Mom, they kicked me in the ass today. Hey, Jason, my sweet boy, my sweet Jason, how did your day go, Mom? They kicked me in the ass. They kicked me in the ass. They spit on me. They called me retarded. They called me ugly motherfucker. The girl slapped me in the face. And I saw 2 of the camp counselors over there fucking. Now, you know what I mean? Like, Jason could have told her that day one, and she would, you know what, Jason, I know I got to go to work, but, you know, I might have to quit my job, or I might have to find some babysitters. I might have to call your daddy or something. I can't bring you back around these normal-ass kids that's in summer camp that's doing these things to you, my boy. And if Jason couldn't talk, if Jason was that fucked up in the head or whatever the case may be, or his mental disability was not enough for him to fucking talk, to fucking explain it to you, then you damn sure should have been watching him, because he can't even tell you what the fuck is going on. Jason, one of them, I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny. I'm just saying, like, if he was one of those kids that couldn't talk, okay, in Freddy vs. Jason, when they threw him in the water, he ain't look like he was speaking. He ain't look like he was yelling for help. He looked like he was like on some shit. You know what I'm saying? So if he was one of those, you especially got to pay attention to him. You especially got to be like, yo. But see, the thing is this too, like, why you brought that motherfucker to work? Why you brought him to work with you? And if you did bring him to work with you, if the camp said, hey, listen, man, you ain't got nowhere to take your ugly ass, slow ass son, go ahead and bring him to work. Keep that motherfucker in the kitchen with you. Give him some crayons, put him in. Get that motherfucker some crayons and put him in the chair and put him in the kitchen with you. You need eyes on him at all times when you're dealing with children. And you've been working at that camp, so you know these kids was rat bastards. So to me, you put Jason in a position to be killed. You put all of these other children in a position to be bullies and to be mean and to be nasty and to be freaked out. And you didn't do your due diligence on taking care of your son. Yeah, you wanted to kill people afterwards. Yeah, you wanted vengeance. But if you had been a good mother, your son wouldn't have got fucked up. Okay? And you putting the kids in a bad position, because I know if I was a kid, I don't want that ugly, weird fucking motherfucker around me. I'm just keeping it real. Now, me, I'm the type of kid that I would have embraced Jason. I would have been like, yo, Jason, stick with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Jason would have been like my little monster friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, leave Jason the fuck alone. I would have took up for Jason, because I would have understood, and plus I had a good mother. I had a good mother who I could have went home and said, Mom, it's this kid Jason at the camp, man. You know? And I would have showed, see, I can imagine me now. This is exactly what happened. I'll give y'all a prime example. I come home, I take a picture of Jason. I see Jason at the camera. God damn. Take a picture of him. I take a video of him, talk to him. Hey, Jason, how you doing? Jason, with whatever the shit he was with on. Right? And I go home. And I say, Dad, look, this is my friend Jason at the camp. My dad, God damn, you make friends with this motherfucker here? And then I show him the video and they took my dad, oh, man, that motherfucker fucked up like that? You friends with him? And I was like, Dad, yeah, I like Jason, man. He cool. How you know he cool? He don't look cool. He don't sound cool. You sure he won't be friends with that motherfucker Tyrone? That's my dad to say. My dad's ignorant. He don't give a fuck. He's not a nice person. And then I see my mom. My sister, look. It says, not monster friend. I'm dead. Yeah, you would have been my little monster friend. Yo, Jason looked like a fucking monster when he was a kid. You saw Freddy vs. Jason, that motherfucker looked like a monster. And you know, Deborah, you know damn well, if I would have brought home that video of Jason, that picture of Jason's daddy would have said, what the fuck is that? You friends with that motherfucker there? I don't know about that, son. I think you better get away from him. That motherfucker look like he might fuck around and eat you or something. You know, my dad would have been nasty about it. But then I would have showed it to my Jehovah's Witness, very loving mother. And she would have said, oh, look at him. She would act like he was the cutest baby on the planet. Oh, Tyrone, take care of him, watch him. Because my mom, even my mom is Jehovah's Witness, is a nice person who gives people the benefit of the doubt, knows for a fact that when she look at that picture and she see Jason's ugly ass face and she hear him go on, she knows for a fact that them kids is kicking him in the ass. She know they spitting on him and slapping him. And she knows she raised her baby boy to be a protector. She raised her baby boy to be nice. She raised her baby boy to nurture. And she would be proud of me being Jason's friend. And the bubble in me also raised me to kick some ass. So if you fuck with Jason, you fuck with me. And guess what? I'm gonna teach Jason how to do shit. I'm gonna teach Jason how to bite. That would be my first thing. Jason, bite. If we fight, you bite. That's what I would tell him. Jason, if we fight, you bite. And we gonna fuck some shit up. Me and Jason would have been fucking shit up at that camp because I had a good mother. And Pamela Voorhees was a bad mom. And that's why Jason got killed. Because ain't no way in hell she should have had her son, fucked up as he is, at that camp, knowing that them kids was kicking him in the ass. That's all I'm saying. It's true, it's facts. Y'all can't hate on me. Y'all can't say I'm wrong. Okay, and I got one more mom. Before I close the show. And that mom is motherfucking Marge Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street. I hate Marge Thompson. And I can say I hate Marge Thompson because Marge Thompson ain't a real person. This movie hate. I hate that bitch from the movies. I don't know the real actress lady. I think I know her name. But I don't know her. But the character she played, Marge Thompson, yeah, bitch, like something wrong with you. First of all, number one, you lived in the town Springwood where the Springwood slasher, Mr. Freddy Krueger himself, was out here killing children. Not killing teenagers, but killing little kids, right? And you and your husband and all y'all little gangbangers, y'all found out. Y'all said, you know what? Fuck him. He got out of prison. We gonna kick his ass. We gonna burn that motherfucker. Y'all did that. Killed him. Bam, Freddy's dead. We killed that motherfucker. We saved our children. And you, as a woman who had a daughter in that town didn't decide to leave that motherfucker, that's strike one. Mars Thompson should have came over and told her husband, we got to get the fuck out of here. Because a lot of kids got killed in this town, and now me and you are murderers ourselves. Like, we're murderers. And we have a daughter here. And if this story comes out, we could possibly go to prison. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody wants to do, people do copycat shit all the time. And Freddie got off, so a lot of people's eyes, Freddie might not have did the shit, so the killer could have really kind of still been on the loose. I know they said they had evidence, they knew Freddie did it, whatever, it was a botch, whatever, but the case may be, kids, you have copycat killers, you have the town would just feel bad to me as a mother. I don't want my daughter growing up in a town where a bunch of children was killed. I don't want my daughter growing up in a town where me and her daddy and a bunch of other parents then burnt this motherfucker alive. And you think it's cool? Marge should have told Donald, let's go, let's get the fuck on out of this town. Let's move somewhere else. But you think Ding Dong the witch is dead. You think Freddy's dead. You think your daughter's safe. I'm not gonna blame Marsh for that. That was mistake number one, though. Mistake number two. Why the fuck did you get divorced? Why the fuck did you get divorced? I'm not saying that Donald was a good husband. Donald might have been slapping the shit out of Marge. We don't know. But Donald was a police officer, a detective. He had a good job. You had a nice ass house, and Donald did what a daddy do. Like, he's got a lynch mob together. Yo, this motherfucker want to kill kids. He want to get away with it. Yo, let's go kill that motherfucker. That's a man. Donald Thompson was a man. He said, we going to go kill this motherfucker. We going to burn him alive. I'm going to take the body. I'm going to bury the body. You know what I mean? He put in that work. He put in that work. So what y'all get divorced for, Mark? Why did you and Donald get divorced? I blame you. I blame you because Donald had a good job. Y'all lived in a nice house. And that's what I said. Hold on, before we go. That's what I said. The mom in Hereditary, like I said. And the funny thing is, George, look, George said, the mom in Hereditary, fuck that bitch. Yes, that bitch was on the list. That bitch was on the list. I even said it, like, how do you have a whole family to sacrifice to a motherfucking demon? I was like, yo, like, are you kidding me? And you dead already. You dead already. Like you was, man, look, I ain't even gonna get back into it. I go back and listen to the earlier stage. I talked about that bitch already. But here's the thing. So Marge, I blame you because your husband put you in a nice home. He had a nice job. And when the kids was getting killed in his town, that man stood on business. That man stood on business. And as far as I'm concerned, I never seen Donald drinking too much. I never seen Donald slap you. He could have been slapping you, but I never seen him slap you. He seemed like he loved his daughter. And he was a cop too. So, he had the 9. He had the 9 in the shoddy. So he was protecting his house. You know what I'm saying? He was going to protect you and everything. So, Marge, I think the divorce was your fault. So that's another thing. Strike 2, Marge, because you got divorced from Donald. Strike 2. After you divorce Donald, though, and you become a single mom with a teenage daughter in a town where a bunch of kids got killed, and you decide, because you ain't working, let's not get this fucked up. People, Marge ain't want to work. I ain't seen Marge go to no motherfucking job. Marge was there when Nancy left the school in the morning drinking. Marge was there when Nancy came home from school in the afternoon, still fucking drinking. Drunk ass bitch, right? So Marge ain't even got to go to work. Donald taking care of the bills and everything. You ain't even got to go to work, bitch. And you decide to be an alcoholic. You decide that you ain't got to go to work. And you got a teenage daughter to raise in a town where a motherfucker was killing kids and you up here getting drunk 24 motherfucking 7. Just hit the bottle. Just not giving a fuck. Right? Not giving a fuck, right? And then, that's number 3. That's strike number 3. You were alcoholic. For what? You're living your best life and you decide to be an alcoholic. For what? What stress do you have, Marge? How was you stressed out? You living in a nice house getting all your bills paid. You ain't got to even live with the man. You ain't got to fuck him or nothing. And you getting drunk like that, you stressed out? You stressed out? No, bitch. You fucked up. You a fucked up ass bitch. Then, number 4. Marge, you dumb as shit. You dumb as shit. Because you sent your teenage daughter in that town. In that town. I don't give a fuck, bro. If I lived in a town where children was getting killed, guess what? The freaks come out at night. And my kids don't. My kids don't. Ain't no way. Nancy, my teenage daughter ain't leaving the fucking house. I'm sorry, but she's not. She's not leaving the house at night. She's not going to go spend the night over somebody else's house. And you a drunk ass bitch mom, and you send your daughter to go spend the night over Tina's house. And Tina mom was a hoe and a little bit fucked up herself. And I know you know that bitch. Because she was part of the mob that killed Freddie. So you know her. You know she a fucked up ass bitch. So even if I was going to send my daughter somewhere, I'm not sending her to a house with another motherfucking single ass mom that don't got no man to protect her, not knowing that at any time my kids could be killed. We live in a town where kids was being killed, and you let your daughter go spend the night at Tina's house. Tina's mom don't got no husband either, and Tina's mom a fucked up bitch too. Fuck is wrong with you? What kind of parent is that? And then not only do your dumb ass send your daughter over there, but then when the husband comes and the guy and the person Tina gets killed, and they got you down at the police station, and the husband comes and he says, "What the fuck was she doing there?" And you go, "She lived there, Donald." Bitch, he ain't talking about Tina. Tina dead, dumbass. Tina is dead. And you think that your husband is asking you what the fuck was the dead girl doing in her own fucking house? I was like, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. So now I'm thinking Donald did slap the shit out of Marge. Donald did slap the shit out of Marge because if my daughter was at somebody's house and her friend got killed and I came home and I said, "Yo, honey, what the fuck was my daughter doing? What the fuck was she doing at the house?" And you telling me the dead bitch lived at the house. Yeah, I'm surprised Donald didn't backhand the shit out of her right there in that police station, right in that office. I would have back you. This is why I divorced your dumb ass. You know what I mean? So now I'm thinking maybe she should have divorced Donald because I'm thinking like, he probably was. He couldn't slap it in. But Marge probably said some dumbass shit before in that house. And Donald probably slapped her ass a couple times. But then you go, "Oh, I'm going to get Nancy some help. Nancy not sleeping. I'm going to help my daughter out." That was a good thing to do. That was a noble thing to do. But then when she's telling you about Freddie, she's saying, "Mom, it's this man, you know what I mean? He wearing a claw hand." And you like, "What the fuck you talking about? He wearing a claw hand." And then, she's describing him and shit. And you know it's Freddie. You know it's Freddie, but you just want to play dumb. You just want to keep the story going. You want to hide it or whatever the case may be. Or you scared you're going to get arrested or whatever. So you don't even cater to your daughter's feelings. You don't even tell her. You don't even tell her the shit. You just like, "Nah, honey, you tripping. Like, y'all tripping." Her friend is dead. The person accused of killing her friend is dead. Your daughter telling you that the same motherfucker that killed her friend and killed the other motherfucker sex, and he's telling you it's about a man who killed kids. But you can't believe we burnt that motherfucker up, but you don't want to tell your daughter the story, so you take her to go get help. Last I checked, when you go to the doctor and you put on that robe, that doctor's gown thing, you're butt ass naked underneath there. And if you're not butt ass naked, the only thing you got on is bra and panties. It's the only thing you got on. So even Nancy was butt ass naked, or she had on bra and panties when you took her in there to do that sleep study, because she damn sure had on the hospital gown thing. So either she was butt ass naked underneath, or she had on there with bra and panties, right? She goes to the sleep thing, they tell her, "Oh my God, she's asleep." Then they tell her, like, "Then all these nightmares is going crazy, bitch. We ain't never seen a nightmare go off the charts like this. This is something wrong. This nightmare is extra as fuck," right? And you sitting there watching, and the doctor's telling you this nightmare is extra as fuck. We got to wake her up. Something is severely wrong with this nightmare. She's been telling you that the nightmare has been real bad. "Oh, it's just a dream, honey. Go to bed." "No, bitch, no." And then she pulls the hat out. And you go, "Where did you get that hat?" She keistered it. She keistered that big ass hat. She stuffed it up her ass before y'all went there. Like you not gonna believe your child. She said, "I got it out the dream, Mom. You was right there. You thought I ain't had no hat when I came in here. Where was the hat at? Up Nancy's ass." So you didn't start to think like, "Yo, something's going on here. Something's wrong here. I gotta help my child." And then she comes in the house. You're in there drinking, hitting the bottle as usual. And she goes, Mom, look. The motherfucking name is in the hat. Motherfucking name's in the hat, Mom. The hat say Fred Krueger. Who the fuck is Fred Krueger, Mom? You like, Fred Krueger. What the fuck? She's like, Mom, I pulled this hat off. This is the guy. I got the hat off the man's head in my fucking dream. His name is Fred Krueger. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And then you go, "Oh, honey, Fred Krueger can't hurt you because we got his weapon." And you take it downstairs and you open up your little thing and you show it that you got his fucking glove. Bitch, he probably made 2 of them. Because I'm telling you, this motherfucker's still wearing one. How did Nancy know about the glove if you got it and he can't wear it no more, dipstick? Nancy telling you that's the shit he wear. He wear that glove. You don't think he could have made 2, bitch? You the oh, we got his glove. And fuck the fuck and the other fuck thing, why y'all keep that? Tell me, Marge, why did you keep that glove? What, you needed to keep fake? You need to remember that you murdered somebody. You needed evidence that could get you caught in a court of law. Evidence you got his glove, you did it. Like, I don't know what the hell you had that for, but you thought you was comforting Nancy by telling her, oh, we took the glove, the same glove that she telling you this motherfucker got on right now when she go to sleep. Make it make sense, Marge. And then after that, she tell you, Mom, it's a dream demon, motherfucker. Like, I can't go to sleep. He's killing me in my dreams. And your solution was to go and buy bars and bar up the house, put bars on the windows of the house. Matter of fact, your solution wasn't even to go and buy the bars and put bars on your windows. Your solution was to go ask Donald to buy bars and put bars on your windows because you ain't had no money, bitch. You didn't work. Your drunk ass was like, Donald, we gotta help Nancy. We need bars on the windows. You didn't even tell your husband none of this shit. You didn't tell Donald about the hat. You didn't tell Donald that you had to tell Nancy about the Freddy Krueger story. Because when Nancy called Donald, she said, Daddy, I know who's doing this. And Daddy's like, tell me who it is, baby, and I'll come get him. And then when she said, it's Fred Krueger, Daddy, he was like, what? Like, no, bitch, what are you talking about? How do you even know about Fred Krueger? So you didn't even tell her daddy that she figured out what the fuck was going on. You didn't even care enough to tell her father what was going on. You didn't care enough to tell her father what happened? Because maybe he would have been rational enough. No, you called him and said, hey, listen, Nancy been sneaking out. She be going out tonight. I want some bars on these windows. I want to lock her in the house. Locked. All the doors are locked. You can't get out. You can't get out, bitch. That's what you did. That's what you did. That's what you did. So, I'm glad that Freddie got her at the end because Morris Thompson, like, come on, bitch. Come on. And not only that, but I understand too, you got so drunk. You got so drunk that she done went to sleep, done booby trapped the crib, done brought Freddie out the dream, done hit him, knocked him down the steps, done fucking fought this man in the house, then walked up and down the pancake batter steps, then went down the basement, done blew up a lamp and set this man on complete fire. And you still sleep. You in the bed just sleeping your drunk ass off. You could have got up and helped your daughter fight. But no, too drunk and too sleep. So yeah. Morris Simpson. Morris Thompson, terrible mom in a horror movie. And I'm pretty sure that there's more terrible moms, but I ain't got the time to talk about them. And those was just the main ones that really fucked me up. And as y'all can see, Marge Thompson was probably the most egregious for me. She wasn't the most egregious for me. I ain't gonna lie. She wasn't the worst mom because at least she was like all the other moms kind of like was killers and was part of the murdering. Well, Marge was a killer too. All the other moms was part of the murdering though. Like the Loomis mom, like Norman Bates mom, and Hereditary mom. Oh shit, that bitch. Like when she sacrificing kids to the demon and all that. Carrie mom was really abusive and all that. Marge wasn't on the level of those moms because she just was stupid and she just made some bad decisions that just like fucked me over. But the Name of Industry is my favorite franchise, so I really had to go hard on Marge ass. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. And so that being said, shout out to the people in the comments. Shout out to my sister. Shout out to Randy. Shout out to George Jameson who showed up. Shout out to my co-host. And anybody, like I keep saying, 1800 is always here. So if you work for them, you know somebody who worked for them. You know somebody who might know somebody who worked for them. You know anybody associated with him. You know a liquor store that might. I mean, I'm looking for a sponsor, and I do big up these motherfuckers and toast to them every fucking show. Today's episode is brought to you by 1800. On behalf of Macho Man, on behalf of Freddie, on behalf of the Decepticons, on behalf of the Lisper me, I say have a nice one, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Thanks for watching. What the helly?